From Colorado State University, this is the Emmy Award-winning Campus Television. Owned and operated by the Colorado State Student Body, Campus Television, covering the news, sports, arts, and entertainment of campus.
How's it going, Fort Collins? And welcome back to another edition of CTV Sports. I'm Gideon Aigner.
As always, I'm Lucas Williams. Here's what we got on tap for you tonight.
Colorado State softball split the week, sweeping San Jose State before dropping a pair of close games to Fresno State. The Rams heading home for a weekend series against Nevada.
On the track and field turned in a strong week, highlighted by podium finishes and a dominant performance at the Kit Myers Classic. The Rams now head to the Brian Clay Invitational next week.
On the court, women's tennis struggled against ranked opponents, falling in both matches over the weekend, turning their focus to their regular season finale against Wyoming.
All of that and more right here on CTV Sports, which starts right now.
Now that we're in the spring season for athletics, it's time we turn our attention to a future CSU Ram from just half an hour south of Fort Collins. What's up, Fort Collins? I am here in front of Berthoud High School, where I'm about to talk to an athlete who is committed to compete for the CSU Rams track and field program next year. 4 years ago, if you'd have asked Jace Newbill what sport he would play in college, he would not have said track and field.
I only jumped 5'3" my freshman year, and I was considering quitting and not wanting to do it again.
But as a senior, he's the number 4 high jumper in the state, and he committed to CSU in December for one reason in particular: Coach Maria Creech.
You could see like the progression that all of our athletes have had from where they started to where they are now, so I thought that was really cool. I could see myself doing that in a couple of years.
He came to one of our track meets last spring, and we made that connection that day, the day of the meet. Got to meet him, got to see that interest from him, and there was really no question that Jace and I didn't get along right from the beginning.
And Jace's agreeability is a large part of why he's so successful.
He will definitely be remembered around here, but I think too, the type of person that he is, in 5-6 years, he's going to be a fantastic member of society, and he's going to do great things with his life. Whatever he does, he's going to be very successful at, and he's going to be remembered as someone who works hard.
And right now, Newbill is working on his technique to prepare for the next level.
It's going to be hard going from one of the best jumpers in Colorado to probably the worst jumper on CSU when I get there. But I feel like it's going to be good for me ultimately.
Jace is going to be a huge benefit for CSU. He'll definitely do everything he can to be the best he can be, but also to help the team.
And Jace is excited to represent Colorado in the green and gold.
I visited multiple places in the country, and I feel like I just wanted to stay home. I just knew this was the place for me.
Newbill and the rest of the Spartans will next be competing at the Roosevelt High School hosted Randall Hess Invitational on Saturday, April 18th at 10 a.m.
Colorado State softball saw a busy week as they had 2 separate doubleheaders against familiar conference opponents. Last Wednesday in Fort Collins, game 1 of 2 against San Jose State took place. This game would set the tone for the day as Colorado State relied on timely hitting and strong pitching to secure a 5-2 win. The Rams managed just 3 hits in the game, but each one came at a crucial moment to drive in runs. Autumn Rutherford started the scoring for the Rams in the 3rd inning with an RBI single. A San Jose State double would drive in 2 runs to take the lead 2-1 at the top of the 5th, but CSU's Jaylee Wilson would respond at the bottom of the 5th with a single RBI, bringing Maddie Esslinger home to make it a tie ball game. Then in the bottom of the 6th, Alyson Moody launched a triple to spark a 3-run inning. In the circle, Reagan Wick answered the call for the Rams, striking out 6 batters, keeping the Spartans in check. Colorado State would come out on top in Game 1, winning 5-2. Just a half hour later in Game 2 of the doubleheader, deja vu must have been in the air as CSU took home another 5-2 victory. After a 1-run first inning from the Spartans, the CSU offense came out guns blazing, scoring 3 runs in the first inning. An Autumn Rutherford triple would bring in 2 runners home. Then a Kyra Smith sacrifice fly was able to send Rutherford home. In the 3rd, Brady Petit Herrera extended the lead with a two-run double, boosting the CSU lead to 5-1. Colorado State would cruise to a series sweep over San Jose State and turn their focus to Saturday for doubleheader versus Fresno State. Game 1 against Fresno State was a tight extra inning battle that resulted in a 3-2 loss for CSU. Maddie Esslinger provided the offensive highlight with a solo home run to tie the game 1-1 in the 5th inning. Esslinger would deliver again in the 7th with an RBI double to give the Rams a late 2-1 lead. However, Fresno State's Tiara Westbrook put her clutch gene to use with an RBI single to bring home Ariana Aguayo to force extra innings. The Rams would go scoreless in the top of the 8th, now needing a defensive stand to stay alive. Unfortunately, Fresno State's Jamie Hicks had other ideas as she delivered an RBI double to walk it off and bring home the 3-2 W for the Bulldogs. Game 2 was another close one, but the Rams ultimately fell 2-1. Fresno State took an early lead in the 1st inning and held it for most of the game. Jaylee Wilson provided a late spark with a solo home run in the 7th to cut the deficit to 1. Colorado State put together a late push with additional hits, but a double play ended the comeback attempt. Giselle Bentley pitched a complete game, allowing just 2 runs while keeping the Rams competitive throughout. Colorado State's split result on the weekend lands them at 20-21 overall and 8-8 in conference play, currently ranked 5th out of 10 in the Mountain West standings. The Rams will return home to Ram Field this weekend for a 3-game conference series against Nevada, with the games taking place Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
CSU Track and Field had a few athletes deployed last week, with a bunch of them placing on the podium in their respective events. One athlete, Zach Sell, went out to Azusa, California to compete in the Azusa Pacific University-hosted Brian Clay Multis meet. The junior would thrive in the decathlon, placing 3rd overall with 6,600 plus points. Sell's top performances would come in the shot put, where he placed 2nd with a distance of 12.84 meters, discus, where he also placed 2nd with 36.46 meters, and long jump, where he hit 6.73 meters. And back here in Colorado, a segment of the team would compete at the Colorado School of Mines for the Kit Meyer Classic and the Mines Midweek Multis meets. In the Kit Meyer Classic, the Rams' top performers numbered many, with Michaela Long and Aaron Brown taking the top spots in shot put, Jessie Amembo winning the field in men's high jump with a 6'9" performance, and Anastasia Murphy taking 1st in the women's high jump with 5 feet and 8 inches of clearance. To put the cherry on top, all 6 of the top finishers in discus wore green and gold, leaving not a chance for the rest of the field. Another performance of note from the week came from sophomore Atalia Bradford. Bradford finished 8th in the heptathlon at Mines, setting personal best results in 6 of the 8 events. Among her top performances, Bradford took 3rd in the long jump with 5.73 meters, 6th in the 800 with 2 minutes, 41.32 seconds, and 7th in the 200 with a time of 27.83 seconds. CSU Track and Field will next be competing at the rest of the Azusa Pacific University-hosted Brian Clay Invitational on April 16th in Azusa, California. Now, over to feature reporter Devin Imsirpasic, who will be filling us in on the life and times of some of CSU football's heroes. Dev, what you got for us over in Canvas Stadium?
Appreciate it, Gabe. CSU football has many positional battles to look at in the coming months, especially with an almost entire new roster following last season. One group in particular is a real battle, and so far, a couple of guys from there have shown out in spring scrimmages. I'm here at Canvas Stadium for CSU football spring spotlight game, where fans are in attendance today to check out the team for the first time. There's a lot of questions surrounding the QB room and lots of other positions for the team, but today I'm focusing in on the running back room.
I like the depth of that room. Now today, as I said, we have several guys that are out, but I love the depth of that room. I think they're all a little bit different types of runners. They give us a little bit different flavor. I think they're very smart. I think they're very well coached by D. Hill. They can pass protect, and they're tough kids, man. And they know how to find the end zone. They can catch. I mean, that's probably all there is. So I like everything about it.
In a running back room filled with newcomers like Amari Gomez, Oliver Lundberg, and Damian Moore Jr., there will be plenty of backfield snaps to fight over as summer camp comes around. But one particular standout has been Mel Brown, a UConn transfer who has been playing with the starters in spring ball and has had multiple touchdowns and long runs throughout the weeks of scrimmages.
Nothing, because I've coached Mel for 3 years now. So that's who Mel is, and that's why I'm happy that he's here with us.
There are many positional battles for the Rams this offseason between the quarterbacks, wide receivers, tight ends, and cornerbacks. All those starting decisions may come down to week 1. But for the running backs, the competition is just as strong and there will be plenty of options for CSU come the fall. For CTV Sports, I'm Devin Imsirpasic. The Rams are now in their final week of spring ball, and the conversations on the starting jobs all around both the offense and the defense will only get more intense as we get closer to game action. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll send it back to the desk for more CSU Sports.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. Colorado State women's tennis faced a tough weekend against ranked opponents, taking on number 75 Grand Canyon and number 40 San Diego State. Friday's match in Phoenix was a tough one as the Rams fell 4-1 to Grand Canyon. Colorado State got off to a strong start, claiming the doubles point. The duo of Hannah Haber and Deanna Lazarzo won their match 6-2. Sorsha Caves and Annika Planensek followed with a 6-3 victory to give the Rams an early lead. However, Grand Canyon responded in singles play with 3 straight set wins to swing the match in their favor. With several matches heading into the third sets, the Lopes ultimately clinched the win to hand CSU the loss. Sunday brought the Rams back home to the CSU Tennis Complex for Senior Day against the 40th-ranked San Diego State Aztecs. The Aztecs dominated this match, defeating Colorado State 4-0, spoiling their Senior Day. Despite the final score, the Rams showed competitive efforts in singles play. Diana Lazarzo won her first set 6-3 and led in the second before the match was clinched. Annika Planensek also delivered a strong performance, taking her first set 6-1 and competing deep into the second. Head coach Maylee Tran praised her team's individual growth and consistency despite the results. With the pair of losses, Colorado State now sits at a 6-15 overall record and a 2-8 record in Mountain West play. The Rams will close out their regular season this Friday against Wyoming before turning their attention to the Mountain West tournament in Las Vegas, which takes place in 2 weeks.
Over the weekend, CSU men's golf competed at the University of California Davis-hosted El Macero Classic in El Macero, California, performing better than they had during the past few meets. The Rams placed 15th out of the 19 teams present at the meet, hitting 38 over par for the tournament. In round 1, CSU was only 7 over par, but the fall from grace was steep and fast, finishing rounds 2 and 3 12 over and 19 over respectively. The top performers for the Rams were Jake Rogers and Florentine Meller. Rogers was the head of the herd, hitting only 7 over par for the invite, with his worst day being a 4-stroke excess during the third round of competition. The other Ram closest to Rogers was Meller, who tied for 61st out of 100 with a performance of 13 strokes over par for the meet. However, 10 of those came on the final day of the El Macero, dropping Meller from a potential top finisher to the bottom half of the pack. CSU men's golf will next be competing at the Mountain West Conference Championship meet in Tucson, Arizona from May 3rd to 5th. After the break, Devin, Lucas, and I will be discussing the Rams' retention, losses, and additions in the basketball transfer portal.
After 2 years?
You gotta be kidding me! Okay, no.
Robbie.
Seriously, do you have anything you can use against the dragon? I can do fireball, that'll do a lot of damage. Yeah, to all of us!
Well,
We're in a 4-foot room!
I'm sorry, what else do you want me to do?
Okay.
Hold on. All right. Wizard, what do you do?
Welcome back from the break, Fort Collins. It's time for a CSU basketball transfer portal update. Let's jump right into it. Lucas, what you got for us?
Yes, sir. CSU's leading scorer, Brandon Rechsteiner, who entered the portal over a week ago, appears to have found his new home in Kansas State. This one's really interesting to me, guys. Rechsteiner led the Rams in points per game with 12, and he's going to Kansas State, who is second to last in the Big 12, 3-15 conference record. They had that 2023 March Madness run, but besides that, I mean, kind of been a poverty school as long as it goes basketball-wise. I don't mean to throw shots, but that's just how I see it. Gideon, what's your take on this?
I mean, here's the thing. When I was watching the conference tournament out in Las Vegas, Rechsteiner is someone who I saw making plays again and again and again. Now, if you're Kansas State, this is a great pickup for
100%,
you.
100%.
As a team that's towards the bottom of the Big 12, you need someone who can make shots, who can distribute, and who can come down to it. You're willing to have the ball in his hands in the last 30 seconds. But for CSU, this is, not irreplaceable, but darn hard to.
I agree. Hey, but on the bright side, the Rams are bringing in Amando Miller from Lubbock Christian. This dude is extremely fascinating to me. He's a 6'7". He's listed as a forward, but on the Lubbock Christian website, it says guard/forward, so he's kind of that wing position, like LaMelo Ballish. That's what we've been talking about. Okay. But he averaged 21 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, 3 assists, was a D2 All-American. I think the Rams are going to have something, this guy. Devin, you got any thoughts on this dude?
I mean, the guy played point guard at Lubbock Christian at 6'7". It's ridiculous. He's a slasher. He can also pull up from mid-range. I was watching some of his tape, and my God, I cannot wait to see what he brings to the Rams. I think he's going to be the starting guard.
It's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, with the losses that we're taking with Jevin Munoz going, we need somebody like that. But for me, I had to focus on where the women's team suffered at points last season with offensive rebounding. And coming in from Utah State is one Sophie Sen. Now, Sen is somebody averaged 10 points per game when healthy last year, started 15 games for the Aggies. But critically, for every 2 defensive rebounds she grabbed, she got 1 offensive rebound. 54 for the year. And that is a spot where the Rams really suffered. So I'm really glad that they're bringing in Sen. And from the men, I'll focus on a retention to me for the point guard position. One JoJo McIver. Now, again, in the Mountain West Conference Championship tournament, this is somebody who, the moment he came into the game, you could see he understood everything. He was a game changer. What are y'all thinking about these additions?
I mean, I'm really happy with JoJo McIver staying. He was a freshman last year, and we've seen time and time again, if these players just stick with CSU, trust the process, I mean, there's NBA potential, there's pro potential, and I think if he sticks with it, he can be a solid starter/sixth man for the rest of his CSU career.
I love the pickup of Sophia Sen for the women's team. I think a lateral move from Utah State to Colorado State in her 5th year shows what Coach Ryan Williams is building. People want to come play for him, and I think Sophia Sen coming here is a great example of that.
Yeah, and we saw what he was able to do last year with Madeline Bragg.
Exactly. Seems like a replacement there. But starting with the men for me, the Rams are losing a guy who was with the squad the last 2 seasons in Nikola Japa. Japa, he was here for the last 2 years. He played a decent role in that 2025 March Madness run, but he lost minutes last year. There was a lot of centers, forward minutes that didn't go to him. What do you guys think about losing out on Nikola?
A bit of a logjam, but hopefully he'll find a spot where he's better suited.
Yeah, I agree. But best of luck to him. And on the women's side, head coach Ryan Williams has been putting in work in the portal, especially with the signing of Marin Archer from Arkansas. Marin Archer reminds me a little bit of Lexis Bargesser. She only averaged just under 2 points a game. She didn't get much playing time, and now she's coming to a smaller school than Arkansas and Colorado State. I think she can be a great point guard. You know, Brooke Carlson is in the transfer portal. They need a replacement there. That's what I'm looking for in her.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams lost their entire starting 5 on the women's side. I think she's going to be the first option, if not the second.
I agree.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight, Rams. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you same time next Tuesday.